Let's get into it. What a week. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. All right, get out of your systems. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' presidential campaign has launched a Trump accident tracker meant to highlight Trump's verbal goofs and controversial statements on the campaign trail. The spokesperson added, even Trump's most committed supporters are sure to switch to our camp when they see how gaffe-free Ron DeSantis is. Now, I best be off. Governor DeSantis is visiting a school today where he'll create a viral video explaining wokeness to a confused child before insulting her drawing of the family dog. The DeSantis campaign pointed out that Trump recently referred to Viktor Orban as the leader of Turkey, when in reality he's the prime minister of Hungary. Well, that does it. That's the last straw, said a disgusted Trump supporter, throwing his MAGA hat in the garbage and wiping his tears away with a dog-eared copy of Foreign Affairs. Meanwhile, presidential hopeful in the same way I'm an Olympic hopeful, Chris Christie, reminisced about his old pre-debate rituals this week, telling reporters this.
I used to listen to Usher pre-debate. But that seems to have gotten dated now. And my kids make fun of me for that, so I don't listen to Usher anymore.
What do you listen to now?
Chris Christie wants to fuck Usher, and I think that's a cool fact. Another cool fact about our friend, my friend, Chris Christie. But Chris should get with the times. The only Usher we want to hear about is the one who politely asked Lauren Boebert to stop jerking that guy off. Last week, Donald Trump was fined $5,000 for violating the gag order in his New York civil fraud trial after he left a post on his website calling Judge Arthur Engoron's clerk Chuck Schumer's girlfriend. But can we please stop referring to that as an insult? Repeated Chuck Schumer. And then this week, on Wednesday, having learned nothing, Trump told reporters, this judge is a very partisan judge with a person who is very partisan sitting alongside him, perhaps even much more partisan than he is. What Trump has figured out is that with some time and concentration, you can actually train your esophagus to bypass a gag order. The judge then made Trump take the stand to explain his very partisan comment. Trump claimed that he actually wasn't talking about the judge's clerk like it seemed. He was talking about that rat bastard Michael Cohen who was testifying that day. But Trump, unable to help himself, repeated that the clerk is maybe unfair and very biased against him. So he tries to pull a fast one on this judge. He goes, the judge sucks, and there's another person who sucks sitting nearby, but who do I mean? And they're just like, you mean my clerk, fuck you. So anyway, he may have been our worst president, but Trump is one of our finest messy bitches who lives for drama. So the judge didn't buy it and fined Trump another $10,000. But I think we all know that these fines aren't going to change Trump's behavior. He needs to start getting squirted with a spray bottle like when a cat keeps jumping on the stove. Or jail, I guess. I'm not a judge. This issue actually blew up what was ultimately a good day for Trump in his trial. When questioned as to whether or not the Trump Organization had ever asked him to inflate numbers on Trump's personal financial statements, Michael Cohen said, not that I can recall, no, which actually contradicts Michael Cohen's 2019 testimony before Congress. Immediately, Trump's attorneys asked the judge to issue a verdict. In response, Judge Engoron said, absolutely denied. There's enough evidence in this case to fill this courtroom. When the judge said no, Trump abruptly jumped out of his chair and ran out of the court, the Secret Service chasing after him. This is real, while Cohen was still on the stand. The courtroom artist was trying to draw it, but ran out of paper to sketch that ass. I know this isn't traditionally how court works, but we need to start giving him a glass of wine to throw. You know, let's bravo this shit up. Trump also told reporters as he left, the witness just admitted that we won the trial and the judge should end this trial immediately. Back in the courtroom, realizing that he had fucked up, Cohen tried to explain what he said earlier when he was questioned by prosecutors again, telling the court about Trump. He did not specifically state, Michael, go inflate the numbers. Donald Trump speaks like a mob boss, and what he does is he tells you what he wants without specifically telling you. You know how Taylor Swift has gaylers? I'm like that, but for unspoken crimes, Donald Trump weaves through words and ketchup-flavored spittle. Did you guys see today that on 1989, the new batch, or whatever it's called, she says that Taylor says that she thought she could hang out with her female friends and that wouldn't be sexualized or sensationalized, but that happened anyway, which people are taking as potentially a rebuke to the gaylers. Trump really has two modes, savvy mob boss and emails with the subject line, crime ideas. That's a punchline to a joke I began minutes ago. Anyway, after court broke for the day, Judge Engoron defended his use of the gag order, saying, I am very protective of my staff. I don't want anybody killed. Sorry, but I truly cannot relate, replied Trump. In Washington, our long national whatever is over. Republicans finally found the House Speaker they have longed for, a hard-right MAGA conservative, or what happens if an Oompa Loompa goes to Liberty University, Mike Johnson. In case you were wondering how to feel about this new House Speaker, here is Johnson and his colleague shutting down a reporter asking about January 6th. You can't just yell. What has happened? There was not that long ago, the idea of a member of Congress just going, boo, shut up, to reporters, like, inconceivable. That is Virginia Republican Virginia Fox, no relation to Jamie Foxx, shouting, shut up. For a little background on Mike Johnson, he supported Donald Trump's election fraud scheme, being the first of over 100 Republicans to sign an amicus brief in a Texas lawsuit attempting to overturn the 2020 election results in Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, which is like throwing the first brick at Stonewall at Marsha P. Johnson. In 2020, Speaker Johnson, no relation, also spread the baseless Republican conspiracy theory about Dominion voting machines.
You know, the allegations about these voting machines, some of them being rigged with this software by Dominion. Look, there's a lot of merit to that. And when the president says the election is rigged, that's what he's talking about, that the fix was in.
It's amazing how much fucked up stuff you can get away with saying when you have America's most generic, forgettable name and face. Ask me about this guy in 10 minutes. I won't remember any of this. Mike Johnson, I think he's a baseball player. Johnson voted for a national abortion ban, called the day Roe v. Wade got overturned an extraordinary day in American history, and once complained that abortions were doing this.
Roe v. Wade gave constitutional cover to the elective killing of unborn children in America, period. You think about the implications of that on the economy. We're all struggling here to cover the bases of Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid and all the rest. If we had all those able-bodied workers in the economy, we wouldn't be going upside down and toppling over like this. Listen.
Yeah, pregnant 14-year-olds, think of the NASDAQ. The grind begins at conception. Johnson also voted against the bipartisan law that protected same-sex marriage and introduced a national version of a Don't Say Gay bill. Sorry, Mike, pretending that gays don't exist in the hopes that they'll just disappear won't work. Reagan tried and he got pretty close, but we're still kicking. Johnson isn't just against gay marriage in the soft, sweet, live and let live way of some of his colleagues these days. Mike Johnson is actually passionate about gay sex. He wrote in a mid-2000s editorial, he wrote, experts project that homosexual marriage is the dark harbinger of chaos and sexual anarchy that could doom even the strongest republic. I got to learn how to do it that way. That seems awesome. I'm not doing it right. If you could do that, that's cool. Shit. In the end, he was only talking about George Santos, but he didn't know that. In fact, in his legal career, Mike Johnson advocated for laws that ban not just gay marriage, but gay relationships entirely. He was horrified by the Supreme Court's decision in Lawrence v. Texas that overturned laws making sodomy illegal. States have always maintained the right to discourage the evils of sexual conduct outside of marriage, and the state is right to discriminate between heterosexual and homosexual conduct, he wrote. By closing these bedroom doors, the courts have opened a Pandora's box. He really doesn't get it. If we were interested in Pandora's box, we wouldn't be doing all this sodomy. After his election to Speaker, Johnson offered this explanation for why his wife wasn't in attendance at the ceremony on Thursday.
She spent the last couple of weeks on her knees in prayer to the Lord, and she's a little worn out.
It's hard to articulate Mike Johnson's vibe, but that's it. Cucked by God. But Tim Scott chimed in to say, me too. Same. That's where my girlfriend was. He says that like it's like a funny what? Your wife missed the ceremony because she prayed too hard over the previous 2 weeks? Like, that's not real. Like, that's not even like a real thing. Like, what do you mean? Your wife missed this incredibly important day because she was praying too hard? What are you talking about? What? The fuck? Johnson also worked for an organization that built a replica of Noah's Ark to scale in a museum that explained how all of the dinosaurs fit on there. Really. So we're pretty fucked. There's just no way around it. The B-52s, who were slated to perform at an upcoming White House state dinner, have pulled out of the performance, citing the Israel-Hamas war. Said First Lady Jill Biden, while we had initially planned for the legendary B-52s to perform their iconic dance and party music, we are now in a time when so many are facing sorrow and pain. Some would even say that this is no longer a Love Shack baby. Jill Biden then held for a laugh that never came before being bitten by a dog we haven't met yet. Look, I think it's the right move for the B-52s. Also, we here at Love It or Leave It know a bargain when we see it. Ladies and gentlemen, the B-52s! They're not here. What if imagine if the B-52s were here right now to come in. The Justice Department issued subpoenas on Monday for documents related to Tesla's autopilot system, part of the DOJ's investigation into the validity of the car manufacturer's self-driving claims. Early reports say that the DOJ plans to bring a Tesla into the courtroom and have its mom and dad call it from both sides of the room to see which it drives over to. The FDA said Wednesday that it was gathering information about the case of a college student who died after drinking Panera's charged lemonade. According to a lawsuit filed by the family of the student who had a heart condition, a large of the drink contains more caffeine than a can of Red Bull and Monster Energy drink combined, and the equivalent of almost 30 teaspoons of sugar. I did my own research. A large lemonade from Panera has 390 milligrams of caffeine per large cup. That's more caffeine than 5 shots of espresso or a Trenta cold brew from Starbucks or 8 cans of Diet Coke. Holy shit. Why? It's free fucking refills. When reached for comment, the CEO of Panera said, "Oh my God, this is terrible. This is terrible. Fuck. What do I do? I don't know. What if I write a song about it? I can write a song about it and it'll be raw and honest and real. Lemonade killed the radio star. We're sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know what to do. It has to be real. No. Shut up. I'm really vibing right now." PEN America, a nonprofit promoting freedom of expression, revealed a list of books that are currently banned in American prisons, including The Art of War by Sun Tzu and Amy Schumer's memoir, The Girl with the Lower Back Tattoo. I agree with the prisons. It's too dangerous for inmates to learn how to command Chinese armies in the 5th century, or whatever The Art of War is about. NFL officials have said that the league will work with the players' union on allowing current and former players to participate in Olympic flag football in 2028. Olympic flag football. You promise you'll stop if I goose your little tushy? A new study published in the journal Royal Society Open Science details the numerous method employed by female frogs to evade aggressive, horny males during mating season. Method number 1, taking over a gay bar. European common frogs gather in shallow pools every spring for a bacchanal called explosive breeding, which I thought was just one of those mysterious categories you see if you switch over to straight Pornhub. During explosive breeding, 6 or 7 males may latch onto a single female in what's called a mating ball, which can result in the female drowning under the weight of her suitors. Not exactly ribbit for her pleasure. No, thank you. The most common tactic to deflect males is for the female to roll over, but some get more creative. Playing dead is common, and in some instances, females will imitate the sounds of males, so a male latching on simply thinks he grabbed a dude and lets go. Ribbit, no homo. The female frogs are really convincing. We have a recording of a female imitating a male here.
Yeah, no. Killers of the Flower Moon was good, but it's second-tier Scorsese. Like, have you even seen Mean Streets? Ugh. It is awesome to see that evolution of Scorsese as an artist. It's all fucking there, but almost like in a beta version, you know? Oh, you haven't? Oh, it's insane. Also, Ribbit.
Meanwhile, Michelle Williams' impersonation of Justin Timberlake for the audiobook version of Britney Spears' The Woman in Me has set the gay internet alight. Hear it for yourself.
One day, Jay and I were in New York, going to parts of town I'd never been to before. Walking our way was a guy with a huge blinged-out medallion. He was flanked by 2 giant security guards. Jay got all excited and said so loud, "Oh yeah, faux shiz, Genuine. What's up, homie?"
Genuine responded, "Good to see you, Joey Fatone." To recap, that's a white woman pretending to be a white woman, pretending to be a white man, pretending to be a black guy. It's a rich, layered performance, and Michelle should get the Grammy now. While on Kimmel, singer Olivia Rodrigo admitted that the shoehorn she thought she received as part of a gift from President Biden during a White House visit was, in fact, an ice cream scoop. If she got my ice cream scoop, what the heck have I been using to serve ice cream to my grandkids? Oh, geez, Joe. An Alaska Airlines flight landed in Portland, Oregon after an off-duty pilot riding in the cockpit allegedly tried to disrupt the operations of the engines, an unsuccessful attempt for which he is now being charged with 83 counts of attempted murder. The pilot told police that he had consumed psychedelic mushrooms for the first time about 48 hours before boarding. I've heard about a bad trip, but this is ridiculous. After leaving the cockpit, Emerson said to a flight attendant, "You need to cuff me right now or it's going to be bad." Which is what I say at the Taco Bell drive-thru every goddamn time I go. A man was mistakenly locked in a steel-reinforced concrete vault overnight while trying to access the safe deposit box. Firefighters tried for 10 hours to free the man, but decided it would be safer to just wait until the vault reopened automatically at 7 a.m. the next morning. Also, I have a feeling they got sick of me just yelling, "Give me a sec, I've done a ton of escape rooms." Emergency responders stopped after reaching the vault steel plating. "The problem with the plating is we'd have to use our torches," said the assistant fire chief. "Who the fuck gave you permission to speak?" said the fire chief. The firefighters feared using torches would affect the environment for the person inside the vault. Anyway, shout out to those firefighters for not roasting that guy alive because he wanted to check on his mother's favorite brooch right before the bank closed. The man was unharmed. The amount of cum, piss, and shit in the vault did force them to close the bank until it could be fully sterilized. And finally, according to Guinness World Records, the oldest dog ever, Bobby, passed away Monday at the age of 31 and a half years old. Bobby ultimately chose assisted suicide with the family doctor, Jeff Kokorgian. Yeah, that's right. When we come back, a tragedy. Jeff Kokorgian.